Okay, we're going to get started for real. I'm Dave Myers. I'm the senior fellow here at the Community Foundation in Berks County. I want to welcome you to this session. I think it's going to be a very interesting topic. Very, very important topic for the broader community and for certainly young people in our community. Want to go cover some quick ground rules here. First, I want to tell you that the opinions expressed in this forum do not necessarily reflect the position of the Berks County Community Foundation. So that's a caveat we have to start with. What we do is we ask people to keep their cameras on, but mute their microphones during the session. To use the chat function at the bottom of the screen, which you'll see. You can submit your questions and comments, then we'll get to those once we get through the formal presentation. I will collect those. If there's any that don't get answered, I'll send them to the panel and they can respond to them. We'll get those back to everybody. We are recording it. We will share that recording with everybody who registered for the program. And we will post it on the YouTube page for the Community Foundation and share it with our friends at BCTV. And we encourage people to make use of the video. There's no proprietary interest in it. So if you think it has something of value, please share it with whoever you want to do. So with that, I'm going to call on our main presenter here, and she's going to introduce her team. I'm pleased to introduce and really thank Ashley Chambers, who's the Senior VP at the United Way of Berks County, who's going to lead this program today. So Ashley, to you.
All righty. Thank you, Dave, and thank you to the Community Foundation for inviting us to share about the READ Alliance program, which we've been so excited to deliver here in the community for the last couple of years. So I have many friends with us today that you'll meet along the way. But just want to start out by sharing that we've been delivering this program here in the community since 2021, specifically here in Reading. And what's important and really exciting about READ Alliance is that it works to address a critical need in our community, which is helping our little ones become stronger readers. So we have some information we'll share along the way. Let me just get my... All right. So what we know is that third grade reading levels are one of the most reliable predictors for future achievement for children in our community. Up until third grade, children are learning to read, but starting in fourth grade, they're now using those skills established in earlier grades to really support furthering their education. And so based on some research that was done back in 2012, we learned that reading levels are also predictor of high school graduation, which is so important for future economic and academic success. But what the study showed was that children struggling to read in third grade are 4 times more likely to leave school without graduating. And then this number jumps to 13 times more likely if that child also lives in poverty. So when taking a look at this information, we thought, okay, what is the landscape here in Berks County? So what we know based on PSSA scores, the most recent ones looking at 2024, is that about 50% of children in third grade are not scoring proficient on that exam. And so with about 4,000 third graders taking that test, that leaves about 2,000 that are not proficient readers. So how does United Way get involved in this work? So United Way is, trying to help people in need and address critical issues in our community. And over a decade ago, probably about 13 years now, we began engaging in community conversations with folks here in the community. Probably over 200 of those conversations were held. And what we heard from those conversations was United Way really should be involved in early childhood education, early learning. And from that was developed our ready.set.READ initiative, focused on increasing third grade reading proficiency. So bringing together a cross-section of stakeholders, community members, we have developed and supported programs reaching children 0 up through 3rd grade, following these guiding principles. So what we believe is, all children have a right to learn and succeed. Parents and primary caregivers are often a child's first and most important teacher. And our children's success really depends on focused collaborative efforts by many folks, not just parents, not just schools, but so many people can play a role in establishing a child's future trajectory. And early literacy development is really critical to lifelong learning success and personal fulfillment. So annually through our programs, we're reaching about 4,000 children across Berks County. And that's with early childhood education programs, school age, and then we also work to support minimizing the summer slide. And you can learn more about Ready, Set, Read with this QR code. So fast forward to 2020, which we all remember was a little chaotic time for us. Many of our Ready, Set, Read programming was halted due to the pandemic. No longer could we bring our community volunteers into the schools because they were closed. So we had to figure out what was another way to support this population that we were serving, because we knew that during the pandemic, there were going to be more kiddos in need of assistance with their reading proficiency. In brainstorming how to adapt our traditional program, we were reintroduced to a literacy-focused organization that had been delivering programming for over 20 years at the time, and they just recently celebrated their 25th anniversary. So this organization and program was Read Alliance, providing one-to-one tutoring for early elementary students through the power of high school students. They too had to adapt at this time and discovered that moving to the virtual space, as many things were doing, could really do the trick until schools reopened. This worked as a pilot for us here in Berks County, but once the schools reopened, we really wanted to see how this model worked in person in our schools. And so we brought many folks together to launch that effort. And so today we're joined by Yvette Russell, the Chief Strategy Officer for Read Alliance, who I invite to share more about the structure of Read Alliance and what really makes this program unique.
Thank you so much, Ashley, and thank you, Dave, and the Community Foundation for bringing us all together for this forum. Ashley, one of the things that I think you said right off the bat, which is so integral onto the work that READ does, is bringing the community together and really bringing those stakeholders. We could not do the work that we do without organizations like United Way Berks County, and certainly with the leadership and support of the school district. So the Reading School District, which really is a critical part of all of the work that we do in Reading and in Read Alliance, period. So as Ashley said, we've been around for 25 years. You know, there's been 22,000 striving readers. That is the language that we use to talk about the kiddos, as Deborah, you'll hear from her later. The kindergarten, first and second grade students that we serve in the program, and more than 20,000 teens have been employed as teen tutors. They actually work one-on-one with the striving readers at the end of the day. So, you know, just generally in the big picture of Read Alliance, we're in more than 200 high schools. We have more than 60 elementary schools that we work with. But the data shows that historically, more than 85% of the students, so those readers, those kindergarten, first and second grade students who participate in our program, will grow at least one grade level in their reading. That is the core of what the benefit is from Read Alliance for young children. As Ashley mentioned, the predictors for success in school start very early on. And so being able to have a program that serves as an intervention for making sure that those children they come to us with reading skills, that they have the support needed to get better, to practice, is what Read Alliance provides during that after school time. We also work with the teens. So, you know, Reading High School, the Castle on the Hill, with all of those amazing young individuals who are looking to do better in their community, to provide support, to do community service type work and activate in multiple ways. This is an opportunity for them to have a paid employment, a paid job where they are working one-on-one with a child who benefits from their support and benefits from their leadership, like really benefits from them, and looking up to them as role models. I'll share a little anecdotal story later on about an interaction I saw between a male who was in, I think he was in first grade, and then a teenager who was in his senior year of high school at the time. The teens also benefit from the program. Not only do they, gain employment, those dollars are often spent right in the community where they live, but they also have, we do a pre and a post assessment of them, and they benefit social and emotionally as well. Like there are predictors on their success that are, identified, the skills that they develop along the way by participating in READ, that could lead to success in their own endeavors, whether it's in a professional light or whether it's in higher learning, higher education, and certainly how they show up as citizens in their very own communities. But one of the things that we learned 2 summers ago, actually, through an evaluation that was done by NYU, was that the teens who serve as tutors actually grow in their own reading skills by tutoring. So we all have heard the anecdote, you learn when you teach, and it is really something that we assumed was happening. But through this study, we learned that those teens within a 6-week summer program actually grew an entire grade level in their foundational reading skills as well. So that's a lot. Read follows the science of reading. There's a lot of evidence-based. Our program is evidence-based. One of the things that I'll talk about in a minute is about how this all comes together. But I think it's really important to note that the benefits to teachers, the benefits to the children and the teens is foundational skill building and development. The structure of the program is one that is explicit and systematic. It is something that, we're working specifically with phonics and phonemic awareness, making sure that children understand the letter sounds, making sure that those letter sounds, when they see them together and forming words, that they understand those words. It's an early intervention program. We're working with those babies, kindergarten, first and second grade, 6, 7, 8-year-olds who really are continuing to develop their skills in reading and a passion for reading. It is also a built-in, we have assessments and ongoing progress monitoring. So one of the things that we do, and we know that, again, from the science of reading, is critical, is that, it's not just putting a book in front of a child and teaching them to read, but it's also assessing that along the way. How are they doing? Where are they benefiting? Where are they having more challenges? How do we course correct that? And that is part of our training as well. So what does this look like, right? So we work directly with the school district and our program manager, who you'll hear a little bit from, I'm sure in a little bit. We rely on the schools to identify, who are the students that would benefit from the program. Typically, they're a half a grade to a full grade behind in their reading skills. And since the pandemic, that's been greater. There's been much more need. We started out, as Ashley said, serving a pilot program online. This school year will be in 10 different schools in Reading. So that's, it's grown exponentially. We train teens and teachers on the phonics-based curriculum. It's called the Reading for All Learners program. It is one, again, that is a leveled curriculum. It is systematic. It is really at the core, making sure that early elementary students are getting the opportunity to practice again and again and again the skills that they need to become strong readers. It is a program that operates about 15 weeks during the school year. It can go up to 15 weeks, about 3 to 4 times a week during after school time. And the teens that are trained, they leave in Reading, they leave right from the high school, they travel to the different elementary schools, and they are there during the after school time for about 90 minutes. So each child receives 45 minutes of direct one-to-one tutoring. That's again with the curriculum, the Reading for All Learners curriculum. And then they transition where they have literacy enrichment. So in that space, they could do anything from read aloud, small group readings, there's homework help, which I remember as a parent of when my children were much younger, I always wanted to make sure they got their homework started in whatever program they were participating in. So they have the benefit of having that as well. And then again, the foundational part of it for the teachers really serve as the facilitators. They are coming in with the expertise and not only being able to supervise what takes place in the classroom, but also to be able to identify when there are other needs or other challenges that are that the children are facing. If they are, getting stuck in an area in their reading and their tutoring, then the teachers are there to really provide that additional support. I'm not sure who's going after me, Ashley, but I will say that the benefit of having what took place in Reading, and one of the things that we have folded into our expansion model outside of Reading, is really looking for a program manager and teachers who have that literacy background. There's such a benefit to having someone who's familiar with the science of reading, who's familiar with best practices around reading instruction, because that serves in ways that all the entire community benefits from in the long term. So someone like Deborah Lloyd, who was an instructor, and I think in elementary school all the way through high school at some point, and being able to have her as an asset in terms of the relationships she already has within the school system, the relationships that she has with the teachers, has been foundational and a big part of the success that we've been able to have in Reading as well. And in addition to that, as I mentioned at the top, working with the school district, being able to know that there's the additional support around the funding, the additional support to ensure that teachers are able to participate in this program during the after school time has been really critical as well. So I'm going to stop there. I know there's probably a lot of questions, and Ashley, I think I may have gone over a little bit more than my time.
You're good. You're good. Thank you.
Okay.
So thank you, Yvette. And, as Yvette mentioned, and, many of us will echo this, without partners, there's so many partners that make this program possible. And so in addition to Read Alliance, who trained us in this model many years ago, we approached the Reading School District once we were ready to move to this in-person model. And they said yes. So we launched our very first school program at 10th and Penn Elementary School. In that very first year, we had 12 elementary students complete the program. They were tutored by 11 teen leaders. And so at the end of that, 58% of those littles achieved that grade level growth in reading. And so that was the very first year that we met Ms. Deborah Lloyd, who was a reading specialist at Reading School District, but also working at the high school. And she took the lead that first year in Reading, but later that school year, she retired. And so we said, well, do you want to come on staff here at United Way? And here she is these years later. So Deborah, how about you kick off talking a little bit about how the program operates here in Reading?
I'd love to. Thank you, Ashley. And thank you, Yvette. We can't say enough wonderful things about Read Alliance, of course, here in Reading. And as Ashley said, I was one of the first on board as a Read teacher, and my background was always in the Reading School District, 35 years with the Reading School District. I love Reading School District. 10 of those were special education. The last 25 were as a reading specialist. So as Yvette said, I had a background in that, and I knew what I was looking for in this program, and it really had it all. So I was the first Read teacher at 10th and Penn. And then, like Ashley said, I was approached to be the program manager for Read Alliance here in Reading, Pennsylvania. And I believe in this program. So of course I said, yes, I'd like to join your team, be part of United Way. And of course, the legacy of reading here. Plus, I didn't even understand how much we were going to touch the teens in this community and make leaders out of them. So it was a win-win. The partnership with Reading School District is amazing. They supply the teachers and pay for them. And, they do busing, they feed our children before the program. So can't say enough wonderful things about Reading again, as well as our New York team that is always there for us, helping us along the way. So through this slide, we started at 10th and Penn. We added 10th and Green, 13th and Green, Riverside and Glenside. Everything was moving smoothly. We decided to add Amanda Stout, 16th and Hawk. Still going along the way, we were doing great. And here we are. Last year, we added Northwest Allen Lowers Park. So we're up to 9 schools in Reading, Pennsylvania. And all of those have shown growth. As a reading specialist, you know, they're tested in the beginning, the littles are tested in the beginning, then they're tested in the middle, and then we do a final screening as well to test reading growth. And it is there, as you can see, you know, 73% have shown what we're looking for that year's growth. So we couldn't be prouder of that. And to date, we've had almost 500 K through second graders completing the program and 323 teen leaders. So we can say that this is a success in Reading, Pennsylvania. And we're very proud and honored to have Read Alliance here with us in Reading, Pennsylvania. Going forward, I'd like to say that we would like to introduce to you Julianne Klein, and she is the Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning in the Reading School District. And like I said before, we couldn't do this without Reading. Reading supplies their very valued teacher to us after school. Reading also, you know, pays their teachers for us to do this program because they believe in it. And busing of the teens down to the elementary schools after school for us, plus feeding our children, which is so vital to, if you're hungry, you're not going to be able to read. So they supply that as well, plus all the support through the year that they give us. So with that being said, Julianne, could you please tell us what your take is on the Read Alliance program here in Reading, Pennsylvania?
Yes, thank you, Deborah. Thank you for having Reading School District represented today on this forum. So first, not only are early learners receiving that one-on-one tutoring in the essential beginning skills of a reader, they are gaining a role model with our high school students. And then along with creating the role models, we are actually building a pipeline of future teachers. Many of our high school students never thought of wanting to become a teacher until they actually became a tutor. Now we have several alumni that are enrolled in education programs at Kutztown University, Millersville University, as well as enrolled at RAC for their early childhood programming. So that is one of the unsung benefits that we have received. But the largest impact we see is the relationships that are built between our first graders, high schoolers, and the teacher. It is a bond that needs to be witnessed in person. Whenever you ask a first grader at the end of the year, United Way is, and Read Alliance, they have celebrations at the end of the year where they celebrate the students and the high schoolers. Whenever you ask one of those early learners, what is their favorite part of the program, they always respond, my tutor. So and they are always asking the tutor, well, are you coming back next week, or are you coming back next year? So that bond between the students and the high schoolers is outstanding. And one great thing that Deb tries to do is have the high schoolers go back to their home building where they went to elementary school. So they're getting to see their old teachers, and just the growth and maturity that you see from the beginning to the end of the 15 weeks of the high schooler is amazing as well. So Reading School District is thankful for United Way for supporting this program, and also a special thanks to our school board for their continued support of the Read Alliance program as well.
Thank you so much, Julianne. I think you hit all the key points of why Reading and United Way and the Read Alliance in New York are such a great team. With that being said, we have other valued members as part of our team as well. I believe Kaylee Grimm and Tristan are here today, and they're from Equus, and they are such a valued part because they are the ones, we have 3 members of our team that are housed at the high school. Again, thank you, Reading School District, housed at the high school and can recruit teens right there to be part of our program. They also do the training and the leadership skills. They've done such a wonderful job making sure that we have what we need for the leaders being built in our community, and those are our teens. So we can be so proud of them. With that being said, I'd like to introduce Kaylee Grimm, our lead teen manager, and she's part of our Equus team, and she's our case manager here with us today. Kaylee?
Hi, Miss Lloyd.
Thank you, Kaylee.
Yep. And yes, our job, as Ms. Lloyd was saying, was to bridge and facilitate communication between us, Read Alliance, the United Way, and the teens and their families. So starting out first, I kind of want to dive into our outreach at the school. We have a lot of different facets of outreach. We use Remind a lot for our students. Remind helps us with putting out announcements about workshops, about trainings, about timesheets, about those types of things, just trying to make sure that the teens know what's going on and what's happening. And we see a lot of our students reading those Remind messages exactly when they come out, and they are on it. And if they have questions, they're messaging us, they're talking to us. We also utilize a website that we created that also houses all the information about Read Alliance, and as well as the application. We also have a gallery that we put of pictures that we have taken, Ms. Lloyd has taken, teachers have taken of our students. So our students and possible students that would like to join are able to see what Read Alliance is and what Read Alliance brings and those types of things. We also encourage our students to use Remind and to come up to our office to talk to us, just if we're not in the office because we're at program and it's easier for them to text us. Remind is a very good tool for us to communicate with the students, and it's also based within the school, so the school is able to see it and monitor the things that are going on Remind. And such as well. So we are able to send those things out. I think Miss Lloyd actually joined our Remind this year, so she was able to see all of our messages we had sent out to students and when we had certain events as well. So it really helps facilitate that communication to the teens and to their families, because we have parents messaging us through Remind as well, questions about the program and how to join and how to obtain working permits and those types of things. And that moves me on to my next topic about connecting our families to the program. So with the website, we have all of our emails listed on there, as well as Miss Lloyd's emails for the program. So if there's any questions that anybody needs to reach out to us about, they're able to use our emails, call us, Remind messages, those types of things. We also had a flyer and infomercial that was filmed this year and created this year by the help of our senior teen leaders. So we have, with our 9 schools, I believe 18 senior teen leaders we had this year. We made an infomercial that was played during the morning announcements at the high school, and we also had reached out to Ms. DeBlasi and had the principals relay a message at the afternoon announcements as well to join the program, and where they could find the case managers to talk about joining the program and getting their working permit and those types of things. So that was very beneficial, with our principals also showing us support here, helping us get our posters put up on walls, put up in classrooms, put up in the lunchroom, our recruitment efforts in the lunchroom, which I'm also going to move to next, or I think in a little bit. So next, I'd like to talk about our workshops that we have for our teens. So we had, I think, about 9 or 10 workshops this past year over a bunch of different topics, a bunch of financial support and a bunch of even college readiness, preparedness, how to make a resume, how to interview, how to save money, how to understand your paycheck once you receive your paycheck and what everything means. So those types of things. We usually at each of our workshops had about 60 to 70 students attend from the entire cohort of Read Alliance in Reading. And again, like I was saying, we talked about financial literacy, building a resume. We had actually had the students build their resume one workshop the month before, and then the next month we had them interview each other. So they kind of worked along together, and they all fit into little pieces together with all of our workshops. Just kind of, not that they'd use it every next workshop, but they're able to use the skills from each in their life and career advancement in the future. We also had an end of year workshop. So after the program ended and all the celebrations were finished, we had the students meet with us for another workshop to talk about just about the program, about things that they enjoyed, things that they would like to change, things that they feel like they had a problem with, just an open discussion with our students to make sure that we're engaged with them and making sure we help them in anything they're going to do in the future. We also got a lot of great feedback from this end of year discussion about all the good things that we had happen this year and how we can build on those things and how we can improve the program in the future and those types of things. I also wanted to talk about how we instilled a weekly senior teen leader meeting, and this meeting was the teens were able to use to talk to us about various issues. So if they had an issue going on in their certain cohort that they had, or if they had a student that wasn't showing up, or those types of things, we were able to have these weekly meetings with our seniors, so our lead teens, that were able to just tell us about things that maybe we didn't know were going on, or things that they weren't able to tell to us. We also have two of our senior teen leaders here, both Dalen and Hannah. I also wanted to shout them out because they are fabulous and great, as every senior teen leader and every teen is that is in the program. But they did a very good job this year, along with our other senior teen leaders, telling us issues that maybe we didn't know about. We were able to advise Miss Lloyd about certain issues, and Tristan about certain issues that were happening and such. And they were also able to mentor other teens in their program. So being a senior teen leader, obviously some people want to be in that position. And so they're able to mentor those sorts of students in the way to get into that position maybe, or to be in that spot. I also then wanted to talk about how we made sure that the teams are paid in a timely manner and how they understood their paychecks. I talked before about the financial literacy workshop. That was a very, very, very detailed workshop we had with our students. Some students didn't even have a bank account before they started working for Read Alliance. And so those were things students didn't know how to do, and we were able to teach them where to save money, what certain accounts mean, we talked about credit cards in the workshop, talked about all those different things. So we were able to help students understand kind of what their money is and not how to use it specifically for each person, but ways to help yourself save money and look for towards your future of going to school and saving for those types of things. We also made a program with the other, me and my other case managers created a Google sheet that we, each case manager had 3 schools that they were designated to, it's per se. And so when we had our timesheets due every week, we made sure that we have an attendance sheet with Read Alliance, so you're able to see the different kind of hours each student had specifically. So each case manager went on the form, and then they took each hours, wrote them down weekly, and I would go in when I would approve the timesheets and make sure that the time that was listed on the student's timesheet and the times that were listed by the teachers with the attendance were the same. And so this helped us cross-check and make sure that everything was peachy keen and good with the students' time that they were submitting, and making sure that they were being paid on time. We also used Remind again to make sure that students knew if they were missing their timesheets, if their timesheets weren't turned in, or if something happened with their timesheets or they were having any issues. We also always made sure students knew that our office was an open space. They could come and see us whenever they wanted to. And if for some reason we weren't here or something had happened, they're able to text us and contact us in many different ways. So we always wanted to make sure, even if something was happening with a student's paycheck where they didn't get paid the right amount or those certain things, we wanted to make sure that they knew they were always available to come talk to us no matter when or what they needed help with. And then I just wanted to finish with about the representation in the high school. Sorry, can I answer a question that's in the chat, Ashley? I wanted to say yes, the teen tutors are paid during the trainings. So these workshops, they're paid for the workshops. They're also paid for the training to start working in Read Alliance. And so I'm not going to go into that a whole lot before they get cleared to go into Read Alliance, but there's certain documents that students have to do and complete to get cleared by payroll to start working. So they need to have their I-9 documents. They need to complete like a W-4, all those types of tax documents, just because this is a job. And so we also used to host, when students, before they would join the program, needed to complete these documents, we'd have weekly power hours, I like to call them, of us helping the students try and complete their documents. Because if I was in high school and I got tax documents and I had no clue what to do with it, I would probably want some help. So we had the students come up here and help them finish their documents so we could move them forward with starting in Read Alliance and getting them set up for training. We also wanted to make sure with our students that we knew what training times worked for them and worked for us, and we could collaborate on that together so that we could have the most amount of students attending the training. Because sometimes when we have these trainings, we have students that have doctor's appointments, dentists, sports, those types of things. So we'd rather just make sure we can have the students all train on a certain kind of day, rather than a day that only 4 people could come rather than 30. So the representation representation part of us in the high school also goes along with being on the TV screens that are all put up around the high school. Kyle Brown actually took our flyer and our infomercial, and he put our flyer on the TVs that are played in, I believe, the CAF, the front, the main office area around the school. We also had our senior teen leaders during one of our senior teen leader meetings. We all took a bunch of copies of our flyers and went down to each and every classroom that a teacher was in and made sure that each classroom had copies of the Read Alliance flyer and just what information about the program. So we also let the teachers know that, hey, this is an opportunity your students can have, and they're able to join this program if they come meet with us and those types of things. We also made sure that with the infomercial that it was on the announcements, and we were very grateful again with Ms. de Blasi and the principal crew with making sure that that was on there and kids knew what was happening, and that we had openings available. Like, we were ready to hire students. So we wanted to make sure that we kind of portray that message across all fields of that, with having everything in the high school. We also have a lot of involvement with community events. So we go to a lot of the events that the high school does have. So open house events, recruitment fairs or employment fairs, those types of things. I think Tristan is going to say a few things as well.
I want to let everybody know how passionate that we are about the program. Like we have the best case managers, and like Kaylee cannot wait to share every bit of information that we have about our program, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And this it speaks to why it's so important that these passionate case managers are in the high school, because they get to work with our young adults on a day-to-day basis. They've become a fixture in the high school. They've become a trusted face for these high school students. And that's really the goal. The goal is to be, introducing more mentors in these teens' lives so that they can move forward and pursue their careers. So we're very, very excited about the program. We love it. And like I said, you will not find more dedicated staff than what we have with Read Alliance at the high school. So but to answer questions, yes, everything these teens do is paid by us. So they are getting to earn wages and getting that financial literacy piece along the side.
Thank you so very much, Tristan and Kaylee. Like I said, value members of our team. We couldn't do it without them, and you heard why. They shared. They do so much to make our teen leaders prominent members in our community, and we're very, very proud of the work that you do. With that being said, I would like to introduce Hannah and Daylin. These are two incredible teen leaders that we've had with us along the way. Just being said, we offer it 9th through 12th grade. You can be a teen leader, or you can actually join our team in 9th grade. And these two students and they are incredible examples of the leaders that we're building here in our community. They're just incredible students, and they also are incredible teen leaders. So we start with teen tutors. They work their way up to teen leaders. So they've been with us along the way, and they can tell their stories, and I'm so excited to let them do that. So Hannah and Daylin, are you there? Could you share your stories with us?
Yes, I'm here. Okay, well, I just want to start off by saying thank you so much for letting me be part of this meeting. It's so nice to be able to share my experience with Read Alliance. My name is Daylin. I will be a 12th grader this year, and I've been working with Read Alliance since I was a freshman in high school. And wow, I've learned and seen so much from this program. Like, I've gotten to learn patience, like a bunch of you guys shared community. It wouldn't work if it wouldn't be for us working together and coming together and getting to see the influence and the change that we can make in these little kiddos' lives. It's like, wow. Because coming from me, someone that didn't know English at first, coming from a different country, wow, I wish I had this program when I was my age, because I could have gotten into it. Wow, like, and getting to see I've learned that even the slightest bit of change in these kids' life will impact them hugely. It really will. Like, even if it's from set 1 to set 2 or set 1 to set 3, every little bit matters because we're getting to change their lives. They're at the beginning stages of their lives, and if we help them, they could succeed so good. I've seen so many kids be like, oh my God, now I'm in set 4, and they started in set 1. Like, that is so nice to see, and us being able to make a change and knowing that we're the ones helping them throughout this process, it's like, wow, like that's really heart changing. And I love this program. I hope it develops way further than this because it's really something that it's making a change. It's helping and it's influencing these kids to see how even the little bit of help could change and they could get better. And seeing that is really nice.
Caitlin, thank you so much for sharing. I'm not sure, is Hannah with us today?
Yeah, I am. Hi.
Oh, Hannah, would you like to share as
Yeah,
well? We'd love to hear your
sure.
story as well.
So again, thank you guys so much for the opportunity of letting me and Daylin speak today. We really appreciate it and getting to share a little bit about our experience. I'm a 12th grader at the senior high, or I'm about to start senior year with Daylin, and we both started our freshman year. And I can definitely say that the program has turned out to be an experience that I never expected it to turn out to be. One of the things that I've learned to appreciate the most about our program of Read Alliance is just how it has benefited both the children and the teens. It has made such a big difference in so many different ways that I don't even think I can hit all of the like good of it. But I feel like it's so amazing seeing the difference that we can make as teens just by sitting down and reading with them and supporting them through their like learning, through getting comfortable with reading. One of my favorite things is helping the kids learn that it's okay to make mistakes and that they can learn through them, and that it isn't the end, it isn't a failure, it's a stepping stone for them to like get better and learn from it. And I love to see how by the end of the program so much growth, so much learning has happened, and I love to see it. I love to see the confidence that they grow by the end of the program, how happy they look and how happy they feel. You can, as a teen, as anybody just being in the program, being in the room, Daylin shaking her head because she knows that when you see how accomplished and happy they feel getting through a book that they might have struggled with before or that they would have struggled with in the beginning, there's nothing that makes me feel more like fulfilled and content is seeing the confidence and the skills that they really build. I can definitely say that by the end of the program, we have some really strong, confident readers, and I love that. I love seeing that. And people like Kaylee and America and Miss Lloyd have been an amazing resource for us teens. Our case managers have helped us through so much. We have definitely grown a lot with them, and they have been a huge resource of just support and unconditional help for all of the teens. So for that, thank you so much. Thank you for all that you guys do and support us through. I can say that for the teens as well, it has been amazing. It has given a lot of the teens that I've gotten to speak with personally have been nothing but grateful and thankful for the opportunity that this has brought for them. For a lot of them, including myself, it helped open up our eyes to a deeper passion that we didn't even know was lying there. Just like for me and Daylin, I could say, when we started the program, or at least when I started the program, I would have never expected this outcome. I would have never expected this passion and love to grow for working in education and seeing just the difference that we can make with unconditional support and community. So I definitely agree that the community that we have is amazing, and the connections and the growth is just beautiful. And I love the fact that this is now giving us an outlet of resource and community for the teens to come together and really put all of our good to use in so many different ways, and to build confidence and build leaders in our community and help the teens, get out there and see what it's like working with the kids, getting comfortable with that, building leaders, and maybe even how we mentioned a lot of, or some of our teens finding out their passion in education and maybe continuing that. So yeah, I feel like this program has just been really life-changing for honestly everybody that's been involved, and I'm so eternally grateful for everybody and for Miss Lloyd and for all of my peers and everybody that we've worked with. It's been an amazing 4 years.
Hannah and Daylin, my heart is bursting with pride. Wow. I hope we're portraying to everyone that's watching how important this program is, because these two girls just exude what we're looking for. So we're your biggest cheerleaders, just so you know. With that being said, Hannah and Dylan, thank you so very much for sharing your stories. We are so grateful. And now we're going to get to the littles. Wow, our littles are learning to read, and it's through the teens that are there every day to support them and listen to their stories and do that one-to-one tutoring. Here's Abby's story. She's one of our littles, and she's going to share her story with you.
At the heart of United Way at Berks County is a simple belief. Everyone deserves the opportunity to thrive, and it's people like you who make that possible. Because of your generosity, a child struggling to read begins to soar. A family in crisis finds stability. And neighbors across our community live healthier and stronger lives. She danced while watching TV, and she even changed while brushing her teeth.
Read Alliance has been an excellent addition to our school because the students get free tutoring after school. Abby was motivated, but we saw her motivation and her confidence grow as she learned to decode words fluently. She learned to recognize words automatically. By developing those skills, she became an automatic and fluent reader.
I was so happy to read. Then I became a reader.
Having a teen tutor listen to her read and practice those skills, it was amazing for her, and it's amazing for our school as well to have that resource.
They sit there with them, and they're their friend. They do homework with them. They teach them to read. They listen to their day. And in fact, Reading School District is so kind. They bus our teens to the schools, plus they give them food. They let them take a meal home with them, which is amazing. Some of them don't have food at their house, so that's just an amazing thing.
We were always very low income, and being able to just help my mom put food on the table, helping her with a bill here and there, making it not so tough for her to transport me to all these different places because I was always a very involved kid. So being able to provide that paycheck and lessen the burden on my mom was huge for me.
I have to say, for United Way, they're the ones that started this. They saw the importance of making sure that these children are reading on level by 3rd grade. And we went forward with this program. And actually, I heard yesterday somebody said, it's a home run. It is.
For the past 3 years, many of my students that have gone to Read Alliance have shown great growth and have developed that love of reading. So without the donations and without United Way, we don't know if that would have happened for all of our students that are participating in the Read Alliance program.
I read a lot with my teacher and my mom, and Read Alliance. Sometimes I read with my sister because she wants to be like me, a reader.
It spread a shockwave of the love of reading, honestly, and I thank United Way so much for making this a possibility and giving all these kids opportunities, both the teens and the littles.
This is what community looks like. This is what you make.
And that was Abby's story. And I know you can feel it as I do. We're making a difference in our town. We really are.
All righty. So thank you, Deborah. And thank you for introducing all of our friends joining us today. So we, like I said, very incredibly grateful for all of the partners that make this happen. One of the things that we didn't share was along the way, we actually gained another partner in Reading Area Community College. They heard about the program and then launched a Future Teachers Institute for our teen leaders. So we just celebrated the third summer of having students participate and being able to take a college course and earn some credit. So that's another kind of ripple effect of this program here in our community. And so, yeah, looking at next steps and beyond, I saw Dick ask what's happening with other school districts. So we're really excited that, you know, we're going to hold strong in Reading School District with our 9 schools this year, but we're also expanding to Governor Mifflin this school year. So in the spring, we will launch a program at their Mifflin Park Elementary School. So we're really excited to see the program continue to grow throughout Berks County. And we know we have a lot of school districts here in the county. Sometimes we get asked whether folks can actually volunteer with Read Alliance, but as you heard, this program's driven by our teens. But you know, that doesn't have to stop you from working with little folks to help with their reading. We have plenty other Ready, Set, Read programs that can engage you if you're looking to become a tutor and help with somebody, help with a little who's struggling to read. And then also stay connected with us through our social media. So you can see the updates throughout the year of what's going to be happening with the program and everything else that United Way does. And Yvette is still here. And I wanted Yvette to share about, you know, we're expanding here locally, but Read Alliance is expanding across different states, which is really exciting.
Thank you so much, Ashley. And it really is. I mean, I'm moved to tears, and I have the benefit of being able to say I've been with the organization for 10 years and watching the impact that, you know, Hannah and Dalen and the teachers and the students being able to speak about their growth and individually, as well as, you know, referencing the community, but really that passion that shines so deeply to hear. Hannah, when you were talking about this being life-changing, you know, having unconditional support, and to see young readers growing in the way that they are. We're excited to know that this works. You know, it's been 25 years. We have such an anchor in the community in Reading, and it's because of the success and being able to see the replication and the impact of our model in Reading that we are able to continue this work outside of the 5 boroughs of New York. So we have expanded to Western New York. We ran a program this summer in Rochester. We will be in Buffalo in addition to Rochester come the school year. Ashley talked a bit about, you know, the expansion to Governor Mifflin. In addition to that, you know, the prospects are great. We have a lot of requests for Read, and seeing the work continue to grow. We'll most likely be in Talbot County, Maryland this school year as well. So, you know, what you're hearing today, it feels good, but more importantly, it makes an impact. It is a true tested evidence-based program model where we have the data to stand on. And then there are the things that we can't quantify, which is that impact that is lifelong and life-changing, as Hannah said. So we're excited again to partner and to really just stand strong with this community and to offer Read Alliance beyond.
Alrighty, thank you, Yvette, and thank you everybody who joined to share about their piece in making this happen. So with that, I turn it back over to Dave, and if there's any questions for us.
This is just such an amazing program. It's so transformative and in so many different levels. It's so neat. It makes you feel very good to be part of this community that's doing this sort of thing. I'm going to start with a question for Dalen and Hannah. How did your experience in this program affect your plans for your own future?
I could definitely speak on that because before I joined Read Alliance, I would have never imagined getting into the school system. Like, I was like, oh, I don't know if I could work with kids. But after working with Read Alliance, I want to work with kids. I want to make a change. I want to make a difference. And I really love the school system. I love getting to make a difference. I love getting to work with the kids, even the teachers. There's such big help, and seeing our teachers in our program, how they handle with kids. Like this teacher Miss Green in my school, she a little kiddo was dealing with a panic attack, and she handled that so amazingly and professionally. And that's the type of people that we need in the school systems, right? That's the type of people that we care to have, because people that care. And yeah, it definitely impacted me and how I viewed the world, because wow, now I want to make a change. Now I want to help kids too.
Yeah, I mean, to build off what she said, the same thing for me. I would have never imagined being in the place that I am today because of the program. Like, it opened doors of opportunity that if I would have never got myself involved with Read Alliance, I wouldn't have those said opportunities. And for that, I'm eternally grateful for, because everything has just been life changing, like me and Yvette were saying, it for everyone, really, for the kids, for even how Daylin mentioned, the relationships that I've gotten to build with teachers these past going on 4 years is beautiful. I mean, the support that they offer and how deeply it runs, how deeply that passion runs, and now how deeply that passion runs in me and how deeply instilled it is. I can't wait to see what me, Daylin, and other of our peers do with what we've learned and what we've gotten from the program, and really see what we can do in our community. I love it.
Thank you for your work. I mean, it's just incredible stuff. The resources that are required for this sound pretty phenomenal. Actually, I don't know if you want to talk about that. It's fallen on the United Way, but it sounds like it also falls on the school district. And it's great that people are willing to commit that kind of funding and those kind of resources. Want to talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, sure, Dave. So we were first able to launch this program. If anybody's familiar with United Way and remembers, several years ago, we received an incredible grant from the Mackenzie Scott, from her philanthropic work. So that's what actually allowed us to launch Read Alliance here in Berks County. As the program started gaining some traction, we were able to attract some individual donations that folks were just really excited about it. And then we were incredibly grateful for the Reading School District that helped to pick up much of the costs with their federal ESSER funds, and then last year with some of the adequacy funds. So the Reading School District really is supporting a good portion of the program. We still continue to receive individual donations that we then build out different pieces of the program. Like, we were able to support the RAC classes this summer. As we look at our expansion to Governor Mifflin, we are incredibly grateful for Senator Schwenk, who was able to help us secure a grant through the Department of Education. And so that's what will help us get that program off the ground.
Sounds like we need to get a state budget passed that has funding for schools.
Yes.
That's exactly right.
How do you go about identifying the students who will become the student leaders? How do they emerge?
I can speak a little bit to that just in general for the READ model, but then I think Deborah or Kaylee or Tristan could speak more specifically in Reading. One of the things that we were intent about in our organization is that there are no barriers for teenagers to apply. If they are interested, Read Alliance goes into the high school, we do a presentation, and we really swing the door wide open. If a teen is available during the time that the program is running, if they have the interest, if they are in some cases, they're very much interested in working with children. And in other cases, they're really just looking for an employment opportunity. As you heard, not everybody walks in the door like, this is the program for me. They walk in wanting a job and they leave often better than when they started in the ways that they grow. So it really is a process where teens can apply on their own. And then once they apply, they're trained in the curriculum and in best practices for the READ model on how to show up as a tutor, show up as a young professional, and then actually get the child working one-on-one with the child. I'm going to pass it over to, I think, Tristan and Kaylee to talk a little bit more about what you started to touch on earlier about being in the schools and how you all have an office there and the way you recruit.
Yeah, I can answer a few of those questions for sure. So, Kaylee talked a lot about the recruitment process that we go through in the high school. We are really always trying to onboard Reading High students to be tutors in the program. We want to get them as involved as possible. And I won't take credit for this because Ashley's the one who said it to me. So now I'm gonna use her words, but we're not necessarily looking for the student who is involved in the play and involved in sports and involved in everything. We're looking for the student who needs that niche and who maybe is not connected. We want to get them as engaged and connected in the district and the community as possible. And so that's what our case managers are really out there doing. They're definitely not sitting behind a desk waiting for kids to come to them. They're out there in the cafeteria at lunch, and they're out at different community events, seeing, making sure that they're connecting with as many high school students as possible. So, but that's how we bring on our tutors, and then it's word of mouth. It's students who are talking to each other about, we are getting this opportunity to be a tutor, and it's really cool, and you should try it out, and you can make $11 an hour. Like, holy crap, that's great. And so they get very excited about that. And then as far as our senior teen leads go, that's a collaboration. So we don't necessarily place a senior teen lead without working with Miss Lloyd and the United Way, Miss Lloyd being the program manager, because we want to make sure that we're all communicating. And that's how we make sure that we get senior teen leads in place that are the best qualified. And we do communicate as both entities. Every week we meet together, we talk about what's going on, where we need to improve, what our opportunities are, and where we're excelling. And that is absolutely key. It's all about collaboration between the entities. And that's how we're getting to serve as many Reading High School students as possible. I mean, that number, 323 high schoolers and 491 littles, like that's nearly 1,000 students. That's fantastic. So, but we are looking to now I got off track. Okay. So, but we're all very passionate about it, but we are looking for certain characteristics in our senior teen leads. They do make a little bit more money per hour. We're looking for more leadership development skills. We're looking for perhaps a student who's participated before, so that they're familiar with the program, and a student who has the willingness to apply and go the extra mile, because there's a little bit of extra work that goes into being a senior teen lead. Ms. Lloyd, do you have anything to add to that?
Oh, thank you, Tristan. I think you covered a lot of what we believe, that every child, every student, every high school student is an eligible lead teen and senior teen lead to be. So we do look for those skills that make our teen leaders the best they can be, and they step up every time. We've not been disappointed yet. So thank you all for all you do. And yes, we're all so passionate about this, and we're hoping that we're showing you how important this program really is out there in Berks County.
No, it's exciting. And I think that aspect of, the aspect of reading is so important, but the aspect of creating leadership and teaching and enabling and empowering the high school students is so significant. It makes it a really compelling element to this program. How do you go about identifying the students that they're working with, the young kids, the learners?
Do you want me to cover that?
Or I can, up to you, Deb.
Sure, go ahead.
So
This is a
3 times,
so everybody can be engaged.
yeah, so 3 times a year, our students take an it's called the Acadience Assessment, which is test early literacy skills. And based on those assessments, the students that need that extra support are the ones that are identified.
So basically, the school system itself identifies
Yes,
the
correct.
students. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Dave, it's Dick East. I just want to share a few stories with you guys. I think, first of all, it's one thing to bring an idea forward, but it's another thing to execute on all the things that need to happen to make it work. And the idea that that the Reading embraced this, the idea that and thanks to Khalid and to Jen Murray for their championship work on this. The United Way, I can't say enough about what they've done. I mean, they stepped up and they saw the need, they embraced it, and I think the number is close to $700,000 that they put forth to really get through these pilot programs to have the program itself, focused on these 9 elementary schools in the Reading School District. So thanks to the United Way, thanks to the Reading School District, Major League thanks to the folks, the Deborah, Kaylee, Tristan, Dalen, Hannah, Julia,
yes,
all of them. I mean, that makes it work. And it's the rate limiting step in this process is the ongoing understanding and knowledge about how the program can really impact the economic development and workforce development here in the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
That's and the rate limiting step in that process is really getting the school districts, the boards, the school district boards, to embrace this, because it's not inexpensive, and in the course of trying to get the programs with a broader reach in the Commonwealth. I mean, and I'll give you a number, Dave, and I think this number is right now there are 70,000 third graders in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania that can't read. Now think about that. We have 2,000 a year in Berks County, but in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, 70,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if someone doesn't embrace that as a crisis, and I have been to Harrisburg dozens of times to try to get the legislature to really understand this is a crisis. Because if you have 70,000 people that aren't going to graduate from high school, that are going to find their way of making a living through some alternate means that are not productive, somebody's got to wake up that this is a serious issue.
No, good point. Good point. Thank you, Dick. Really appreciate those comments. Ashley, or somebody, could you talk about how you engage the parents of the learners in this initiative? Because they seem to be somewhat important in this as well. I think, to Dick's point, this is a collaboration effort, and that's one of the neat things about what it says is people working together can make a big difference. But how do the parents? How do you involve and engage the parents in this process? Deborah, Ashley, somebody.
Deborah?
Please.
Sure, I'm sure. We actually try to make, that's where the celebration comes in actually too. All the way through, we are making sure that the parents are involved in the learning of the child. Of course, the teacher of the first graders that we are with, they have to ask that parent if they would like them to be part of the program. So once the child is identified, then they go to the parent, because we need permission, of course, for that child to be part of our program. And I'll tell you what, those parents are so very grateful for what they're seeing, not only in the child that's in the program, but they've got siblings at home that want to be part of our program as well. So at the celebration, they're like, so this, my next child's going to be in first grade next year. They're going to be part of the program. And I'm like, oh, it just makes our hearts swell because we want them to be part of the program. We're so very excited that the parents are excited, and we're bringing the parents in at celebration, and we get to talk to the parent, you know, as they're picking up the child as well, you know, about how excited that they are that their children are now readers, you know, and expanding their family to the siblings that want to read as well. So it's very exciting to have the parents come forward and tell us, you know, that they're excited about the program as well.
And the teen families are excited just the same. Yeah.
Yeah, to see their kids grow in this as well. Yeah. It was mentioned that there are language barriers that need to be addressed. Can you talk about that a little bit more?
So I'll start. I mean, I think one of the great things that I at least heard when I'm visiting programs is that many of our teens are bilingual, and so they can do something that typically does not happen during the day, is that they can communicate in Spanish with the littles and then, you know, kind of switch back to English. So it's a unique opportunity to have so many bilingual students kind of working one-on-one with a little, because they really can help build that English fluency as well, while helping them get along in the Spanish if they need to switch over.
And when we pair the little with the teen, a lot of the teens that are bilingual will help us out and pair up with a child that needs bilingual support. So, and as well as special education, you know, maybe they had a deficit in some way that they see that in another little and they say, may I work with that child? I understand this. So it's a beautiful bond that's created not only with personalities, but with also, you know, things that are needed to help the program soar. So the teen steps in and says, I'd like to do that. And that's the way we're covering it as well. So it's a beautiful thing to watch. It really is.
That's really neat. Could you talk a little bit more about the RAC part of this process now, what they're doing and how that's working?
So a couple of years ago, probably maybe our second year that we started, RAC reached out to us and said, you know, this really does look like a pipeline to these students becoming educators. What if we created a summer opportunity for them to take a course and get some college credit? And then that really ticks off, if the student does go into early elementary education, they will already have one of those courses met. So for the last 3 summers, we've had between 8 to 15 of our teens taking part in this program, where they attend a class at RAC, typically the first class that you need in the early education degree. And then they're also paid a stipend for their participation in the program. So we've had, I think we had a couple students that have done it multiple summers, but it's a great way to further that passion that they didn't know existed and get them some college credit, and then aligns with the dual enrollment that the district has already.
Oh, that's really cool too. I mean, it's just neat to see that partnership, that collaboration.
Dave, I was just going to add that that's actually a part of, like, that pathways pipeline is something that exists at Read Alliance overall, especially. I was saying, I mean, we ran a program in Southeast Delco this past school year as well, and they are very much interested in creating a very similar pathway as well, where the high school students will then have an opportunity to earn college credits at the community college nearby. And in New York, we have a partnership with, I think it's 3 universities at this point, 3 different colleges, where again, the high school students are earning college credits to be, you know, and interested in education. And we have a team that is actually going to be up in Buffalo who is entering, I believe he's entering school as a sophomore almost, because of the amount of credits that he was able to gain through the pipeline program. So it's really an exciting opportunity. We know there's a shortage of teachers across the country. We know that there are, our teens are seeing themselves represented in the children, but they're also seeing themselves as being educators for the children and high school students in their future. So it is a win-win-win program all the way around.
So the team leaders, there's a lot of things that they get out of this program in addition to financially, do they get paid for participating in all the training and doing the actual providing the services?
Yes. Yeah. So, it's important that, whatever we ask of the teens, we want to make sure that they're compensated because, we expect them to do a job and you should be paid for a job that you're doing. So the training, the actual tutoring, and then even, at the end of the school year when all the schools are having like celebrations and carnivals, some of our teens, it's not part of their role, but they step in and they're helping out at, a school carnival for the littles that, for the entire school. So we want to make sure that they're compensated anytime that they're doing something.
I think Julianne saw that I was getting ready to ask her a question.
Go ahead.
Before
No, if you have something, I can quickly answer if you
No,
need me
I
to.
just wanted to, how do you feel about this program? How important is it to the school district?
Oh, it's very important. We continuously try to find funds to help support United Way with the initiative, as well as expanding it. As you saw, we have 9 schools participating. The reason why the other 4 are not is that they do have 2 of them have a partnership with Alvernia, where college students come in after school to tutor students, and the other 2 have partnerships with Albright where college students come in and tutor. So that is the only reason that those other 4 are not involved with Read Alliance.
Do the college students show the same benefit that the high school students have shown?
Yes, yeah, the partnership and things. We don't pay the college student. It's I believe they do that through the 13th Street partnership that we have with Albright. So no, but we
that's good to know.
hopefully they're Alvernia educators are in the education program, and I know we've hired 3 of them this year that tutored at some of our schools, so it's a win-win.
Oh, that's good. Well,
Yes.
Thank you, Julianne.
Thank you.
I'm going to call on an audience member who I hope is actually physically here. Dan Richards, do you have anything you want to say on behalf of the intermediate unit?
Hi, Dave. Yeah, absolutely. I can speak quickly. I've had the opportunity to actually visit the classrooms and see it in action, and absolutely from the IU perspective, we see the value in the program, and working with Dr. Hackman, we would love to be able to see how we can assist in expanding it, and good to hear that Governor Mifflin is coming on board and others are interested. So yes, we see the value and would love to continue the conversation.
Great. Well, we're getting close to the end and I'm running out of questions. So Deborah or Ashley, do you have any final comments you want to make here? Solicitation for funding?
Well, just a thank you to everyone for participating, and we're more than happy to continue the conversation if there's any interest. When the slides come out, feel free to go to our Ready Set Read website, or even to United Way's website, uwberks.org, to learn more about Read Alliance and all of the Ready Set Read programming that we do. And yes, it does take dollars to run these programs. So financial contributions are always welcome.
And Deborah, one last thing, you get to talk.
Sure, I'd like to say thank you as well, Dave. Thank you so much for having us. And yes, we always need money to help support, as you said, if you have funds that you could give us, that'd be great, anybody. So we will gladly take them and put them to very good use, as you saw, for the teens and the littles that need to learn to read. So thank you again for having us, Dave. And thank you everyone here for helping show how Read Alliance is making such a difference in our community. We thank you all.
This is such a program. It's so important. Go ahead, Yvette.
Yeah, I just wanted to say on behalf of Read Alliance, we really appreciate this collaboration. As I said, you know, it's our involvement in Reading that really has anchored our belief and our knowledge and our data and evaluation in understanding that replication of Read Alliance is not only beneficial for the readers, but also for the teens and for an entire community. And so we are truly grateful to work with the school district, United Way, Berks County. We couldn't do this without you. Dick East, we're so happy to see you. He's one of our champions and really, you know, has echoed the work of Read Alliance across the Commonwealth. Really excited about what's happening next. So, and Deborah, thank you, of course. Tristan and Kaylee, thank you for your work as well. We do have the executive director, Danielle Guindo, here as well. Danielle, if you could wave, thank you for showing up. It's really powerful to know that, you know, teens are walking away from this program, seeing their life changing. And we know that the readers are benefiting as well. Those K through 12, those K through second grade students are walking away with a better understanding of what they're reading and becoming lifelong readers. So we're really, truly excited about this. And thank you so much, Dave.
It's so exciting to see the city of Reading, Reading School District, and Berks County being a leader in creating some significant improvements for this country. So thank you guys all for the great stuff you're doing. Really, really appreciate it. We will be sending a copy of the video to everybody who registered. We obviously get more people registering who aren't able to participate with us. So we're going to be a fairly big audience getting to see the video posted on the Community Foundation YouTube channel and share it with friends at BCTV. And feel free to make use of this in any way that is useful for you, your organization, sending out this message about this really vital and important program, game changer for this region. So thank you all for being here. I hope you'll join us on September 18th when we're going to have a conversation about Elevate Berks, which is another collaboration that's occurring here in Berks County of organizations that are trying to support startup businesses and entrepreneurs. So we will see you hopefully on September 18th. And thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day, everybody.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.